Good morning, everybody. Friday, we made it through another week. What would be better than Q&A heading into the weekend? How about Q&A with Michael as well? I don't even remember how we structure it because Michael and I had argued about it. Am I asking him questions? Do we do the questions together? Is it negligent discharge? Is it full auto? So here's what we did. I asked him a question that I got submitted. He asked me a question. We bounced back and forth a little bit. And that's pretty much how we did it. So that's what today's episode is going to be. I guess it's just Full Auto Friday with Michael and Andy. Before we get into it, stay with me. Let me pay the bills. Today's episode is brought to you by Pique. If you know anything about me, you know that I've been a coffee fan for quite some time. Tea is not actually my jam, and it wasn't my jam until I got introduced to Pique. Now, specifically, I'm talking about their Pu'er tea bundles, their black and green teas. This stuff is awesome, and I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. There's an offer for the listeners, and when you go to the website, which I'll talk about at the end, you're not only going to get the opportunity to buy their really cool teas. This is the packets that they come in, or sachets as they call them, but you're going to get a beaker and a frother as well. And the last ad read I did, I actually made tea on air, super easy, super convenient. It's not your grandmother and grandfather's tea. This is tea for 2025 going into 2026. These Pu'er bundles are targeting three things: gut health, longevity, and convenience. I already talked about the convenience right here with the sachets. On the gut health side, the teas are naturally fermented for living probiotics and prebiotics to balance your microbiome, and for longevity, packed with antioxidants that fight oxidative stress and support cellular regeneration for radiant skin and vitality. They can help you with a microbiome reset. It's going to help you balance your gut flora for better digestion and smoother metabolism, energy, moods. It can even help with your immune system. It's got polyphenols to bolster your body's resilience. The sourcing quality is without question. They're wild harvested from 250-year-old tea trees for unmatched purity and nutrient density. And the teas are made using a cold extraction technology, which retains maximum phytonutrients. For those of you who want to give it a try, which I highly recommend, for a limited time, you can get 20% off on the Pu'er bundle, plus a free starter kit, which is going to be the beaker and frother that I was talking about. Head over to piquelife.com/clearedhot. That is Pique, P-I-Q-U-E, life.com/clearedhot to get this exclusive offer. Back to the show.
Okay, I got the red smoke.
Gun run, north and south, west of the smoke, west of the smoke.
Okay, copy, west of the smoke. I'm looking at danger close now.
Come on with it, baby, give it to me, I need it. You're cleared hot.
Copy, cleared hot.
Tell me when we're ready.
Yeah, we're going in.
Okay, good. What was your question again, sir?
In reference to all of this Instagram and stuff, I asked if this was really bothering you.
You realize my dad with an Instagram account is almost the same as the Russians putting a monkey into space, right? I don't even know if there's a technical difference between those two things.
As far as like technological leaps go, it's about the same.
So I'm sitting on the couch last night with the Ween, of course, because he's my couch buddy, getting into the new. It's not even new. I like to wait till there's a good 4 to 6 seasons of a show before I really commit. And I don't know why we found the Jack Ryan Amazon one. So I'm in season 2, episode 5. It's not a big deal. The Ween's there. He doesn't really care about the show, if I'm being honest. He just likes passing out on the couch.
Yeah.
You know this because you're the Ween watcher.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a text from you.
Yeah.
I'll read the exact text. I might as well. Dude, Vaughn is live on Instagram right now. My response was, what? With several exclamation points. Or he was. It's not working now. That's what you said. Because I furiously got onto Instagram because I wasn't following him, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was going to be a joke.
Yeah.
Because to review, he doesn't know how Instagram ended up on his phone.
It magically got there.
Yeah. Or how it signed up by his exact name, or how it followed stump.andy, which is not my account anymore.
Not your account.
So I find out my sister is the culprit behind this, because I had reposted yesterday a story of somebody telling people to follow my dad. And my level of technical savvy is not always great. When I reposted the story, it was directing people towards this person's account, not my dad's.
Oh,
But-
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
but his account name, which is just Vaughn Stump, normal spelling, Vaughn Stump. So people still found it. I think he had about 400 or 500 followers. My sister convinces my dad that before, go ahead and pull up his profile if you want. Guess
Yeah,
what it has?
let me find it.
Nothing. It has 0 posts. Very David. Actually, has 0 followers, or he's following 11 people. I was going to say following nobody because that's very David Goggins. He is following 11 people. One of them, it's most of my family and the wrong son, and no profile picture of any kind. 0 posts, and my sister somehow decided that the first thing he needed to do was an Instagram live. Yeah, he didn't even turn the TV on.
Didn't even turn the TV
I thought
on.
that you were prepared to do our show today.
Dude, I suck.
Well, you said it, not me. Many others say it too. I just
Yeah.
I don't let them do it around
Also,
you.
for the first like 5 seconds, my mic was turned all the way down for some reason. So
nice.
there's
That's
going to
good.
be a little blank
You don't have your
spot
heads. You don't have your headset on.
there. Okay, we already covered the headset there,
Yeah.
pal.
Get into your fucking telemarketer booth over there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, people may wonder what my dad's account looks like, and it looks like this.
This is it.
It's whatever that little shitty silhouette is. 0 posts, 3,198 current followers, and he's following 11 people.
Very powerful.
So I get that text. My first thought was, Mother of God, that he did this accidentally, and now it's going to be on for hours, and he's going to be walking around fucking naked, which just looks like a fucking hairball. We're talking 1930s fucking power bush everywhere. Do you know what a chia pet is?
Yes.
Okay. Just imagine that. But my dad is, I mean, he's just a hairy person.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was shaving in middle school. He got sent home from middle school
I could see that actually. His beard is magnificent.
Riley's is the same boat.
Yeah.
I swear that guy has a 5 o'clock shadow by 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Either way, he's on Instagram Live. I didn't see it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to warn the world. So I made the Instagram video with the ween, who he did his part. He's just loving
Hanging
and
around.
just affectionate and just
Yeah.
licking my face. And now he's got over 3,000 followers. And he's going to, this is what you people asked for. This is what you wanted. You were enthusiastic about it to him as well. And you people don't understand.
I thought it would be a fun little project for him.
Leah's all about it too. I told her last night. She's like, fuck yeah. She doesn't say that, but she was just like, oh, hell yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Give it time.
Okay. I'll
Give it time because my sister and I were discussing this yesterday. He generally carries his cell phone around in his front pocket.
Mm-hmm.
His cell phone has a normal code like all of ours do. His ability to butt dial people from his front pocket is tremendous.
Unmatched. That's
So what I
actually-
think he
yeah.
does is unlocks it, and then before he closes out the screen, he puts it back in.
Yeah.
Leah got a 2-minute call from him talking last night. She'll, oh, I missed a call from your dad. Oh, I have a 2-minute voicemail. And I looked at her, I said, before she even listened to it, I was like, he butt dialed you.
Yeah.
It was 2 minutes of him watching the news at his house, wait for it, and talking back to the news. As if they were just in a discussion. So my dad's
That's awesome.
commentary and if you think that's not going to happen somehow
Yeah.
on Instagram,
I can't wait till that happens personally.
none of you know what you are. He'll answer the door and sit there with guests at his house wearing only a robe.
I have not had that experience.
Yeah, you're lucky.
So
You're lucky. And he doesn't really track what the robe is covering. I think he told this story on the podcast when we were living in Santa Cruz. He walked out to get the newspaper. He routinely for months would go out naked and finally encountered women on a morning walk. And he's just out there naked. This is what people are going to see.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Nobody wants it.
Before long, he actually may get his account taken down.
I don't know. He's coming over for dinner tonight. By the time this episode comes out, I hope that we have a profile picture. Mm-hmm. We don't need to post.
Yeah.
We don't need to rush it.
Yeah.
Because as my sister and I just discussed and you heard, he doesn't know how to use the camera app on his phone.
Nah, that doesn't really surprise me.
So I don't know what he has in his Photos app, if anything. Probably stuff from iCloud. we're gonna back off the velocity. We're gonna slow down the lives. Maybe show him how to make a picture post, write a caption. I can't even wait to describe what a hashtag is.
I don't think he'll.
And maybe he'll be able to respond to direct messages that people send him.
He's probably got a pretty full inbox.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that's.
I'm glad you all are enthusiastic about this.
I'm enthusiastic.
That's great. That's great. Anybody who signs up for it, that's on you. I'm not going to be held responsible for what happens. I've known this man longer than all of you. He's wildly entertaining for 30 to 90 minutes on the podcast. I have to deal with his shit day round beyond that. So, you know where he's probably at right now?
Black Rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having Connor, who is a manager that I pay to manage the store, she's probably now his social media manager.
Probably. He's probably downstairs at this moment.
Yeah. Do you know I've specifically told him not to go down
Oh,
there?
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He goes down there anyways.
I know. I know. This is what I'm saying. This is what I deal with.
He follows no rules.
Yeah, he parks in the post office parking across the street, which is for delivery trucks,
Yeah.
with all of his windows down, keys in the vehicle, dog in the back seat. Buster would be less likely, he would be more likely to pass a physics test than he would to actually bite somebody trying to steal the car.
Oh, yeah, Buster's.
I think Buster would just, if somebody randomly got in his truck and drove off, Buster would just be like,
Where are we
hey,
going?
do you have dinner set up
Yeah.
for me tonight? As
Yeah.
long as I have kibble, like, let's roll, dude.
Yep.
Yeah. So he sits there. I got an Instagram message Monday night from the woman who shared the seat next to him on the flight home.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
She happened to be in the coffee shop doing a business meeting the next day. So it actually was a net positive. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, I've heard about your podcast and your sister and this, that. I'm like, and all I just wrote back was, I'm sorry. I hope he didn't chat your ear off.
Which he probably did.
Apparently the same woman reached out to my sister for hormonal stuff because my sister's kind of shifted into medical practice stuff she does from end of life to like, let's keep it alive longer.
Yeah. Look at that. Making connections.
All right, whatever. I feel like I've put out the appropriate amount of warnings.
Yeah, I think so. You've warned
No
people
one-
very thoroughly.
Believes me,
Yeah.
your time is coming.
I still
time.
don't really believe you, but I'm anxious to see what happens. What comes of this?
What comes of this is the man that you and I both know because we spend time with him off the air. And the things that he says and does are going to end up on Instagram.
Yeah, it's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the worst that can happen, his account gets suspended.
No. The worst that could happen is his account blows up and more people see it. Then it gets
I was
suspended.
power hungry.
Fuck. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
We're doing a combo. We'll go question for question. So
Yeah, sounds good.
this one, I'll explain how it ties into how I want to ask you this question. I'll answer it too. It's a little bit long. So here we go. I find myself at an odd stage in life. I recently turned 31, so 8 years older than you, and have come quite a long way. From working simple factory labor positions, spelled O-U-R, so we know this person's either from Europe or north of the border,
Indeed.
to building a 6-year career in the crane inspection industry, and 2 years ago starting a small janitorial business with my wife and with a suggestion from my in-laws. The business has changed our lives financially and has been great for paying off our debt and allowing us to relax in the realm of money. However, I've worked 7 days a week for about a year and a half now and been transitioning out of full-time work to full-time business owner. As we expand the business, my work-life balance is completely ruined. My wife has another small business of her own that she does full-time, so I handle most of the janitorial business myself. I work strange hours, morning and evenings. I work weekends and work weekdays and weekends, and there is always something that needs to be done, as it is running your own business. That is a true story. I've never had that one thing in life that I knew was my thing. The career choice I knew I would follow and was all I have ever wanted to do. I've just always done whatever jobs would pay me enough money and suit my lifestyle and capabilities. I have no real passion for being a janitor, but the money is good and allowed me to really change our lives. I have for a long time had a huge amount of respect for law enforcement, and I thought I could make a good police officer if I put my mind to it. Good police officers have made a huge impact in my life, and I love helping people. I work well under pressure, and I truly believe I could make a difference in people's lives the way that those officers did for me. The older I get, that thought keeps growing, and I worry about looking back on my life and regretting what I didn't do, or at least or try to do, at least. I know right now I would need to physically train as well as gather everything needed for the application, and that process would probably take me a year at minimum to feel like I did the responsible preparation. I can see two futures for myself. One where I keep the janitorial business, maybe grow it to a point of having enough employees that I can take a week off here and there and operate a business that that only financially fulfills me, or spend the next year or so training myself to be the best of my abilities to apply to be a new police officer at the age of 32 to 33 and try to build a new career for myself. So my question to you is this. Do you think I should be doubling down on the janitorial business and tough it out for now to hopefully secure our financial future? Or should I take the risk of putting my energy toward a new career as a police officer and failing? So I'm going to save that question for last. My question to you is this, because this is an interesting question that I get all the time, and I'm curious your generation's thought on this. I realize I am an anomaly, that I knew at an early age at least what I wanted my first job to be, and I did that. That bit me in the ass a little bit when I came to the tail end of that job and realized I hadn't put any thought into the after. Your generation in your friend group, what do they think about like just work in general? What's the value on career? Is there a value still placed on, hey, find a thing and take it as far as you can? Do you hop around as much as possible? Like wealth and you know what I mean? Like there's a variety of questions in that. And even for yourself, because I heard you're getting ready to start a business. Even though you try to hide these things from me, I know everything.
I told you about this.
Is it the dog shit picking up business?
Yeah.
Which should be called Michael's Gentle Hands, by the way.
That's we can discuss names.
You should call it You Poop, I Scoop.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's not bad. It's a banger.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Let me handle your shit. That's why aren't you writing this down?
It's all up here.
All right.
Yeah, I don't need to write it down.
What are your thoughts? I mean, since I've known you, when I first met you, I think you were doing something with aircraft wiring.
I was an avionics technician.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you worked at UPS.
Yep.
Then security guard. No big deal. I don't even know how long we've been working together for the podcast now.
It's like 5 years probably.
So you bounced around a ton.
Yeah.
But what do you think about long term when you think about career, business, starting your own business? And then what do your friends talk about?
Well, for me personally, I don't really know exactly what I want to do at this point, or if I even want to have a long-term career as far as like an office job or whatever, like a 9-to-5, you know.
Do you want to work for somebody else or do you want to work for yourself?
I would like to work for myself because working for you is great. And that's
just so everybody knows he's contractually obligated to say that.
Yeah, I have to say that. No, but you're one of the only people that I don't mind working for at all. But
a lot of people complain that I'm too rough on you. And to those people, I say, shut up.
Yeah, I say
I'm forging you into the weapon that you don't even know you could become.
To those people, I would say grow a pair.
Right now, you're as dangerous as a rubber band pulled halfway back.
Yeah, or
Which I don't know if you could possibly be more dangerous than that, because when I met you, you were like a jelly bean being kicked around on the floor. That's how dangerous you were, which isn't dangerous at all. There's not even a trip hazard there. I suppose a choking hazard if you were to fall and accidentally inhale it through your nose.
Yeah.
But you're at the rubber band phase.
Yeah.
We might be able to make you like a dull spoon.
Yeah. And which people don't understand, coming from you, that's a huge compliment.
Yeah. I'm at best a rusty fork. See what I mean? We're still in the cutlery drawer.
Yeah, we've yet to upgrade to the knife section.
Well, so one of the questions I hate, I don't hate this question. I think it's an unrealistic question. I got asked it a bunch when I was growing up. And I wonder if your generation is still being asked. People will say to kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? And young kids say a firefighter or a police officer or an astronaut. And almost nobody does that because we'd have so many firefighters and police officers and astronauts. It's almost as if somebody at the age of, call it 7, that you ask that question to has absolutely no clue what they want to do with their life.
Yeah.
I'm 47. I don't know what I want to do with my life. Is there still an emphasis on people picking a specific career for your generation?
I don't think. I mean, I think not as big as there was probably in the generation or two before mine. I mean, when we were when I was in grade school and high school, college was definitely pushed pretty hard. But
Just get a degree, essentially?
yeah. But I was like, oh, man, I can't really afford college. I don't want to go into like $50,000 of debt when I'm 18.
That's if you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I didn't know this at the time, can't be defaulted on.
No,
keep
it's one of
that.
the most predatory. So I'm sure at this point in your life, you've gotten loans for a vehicle or whatever. I don't know. You still.
No, I've never taken any loans besides credit cards.
You have a credit card, though.
Yeah.
So credit cards will look at what they're going to give you based off your debt to income ratio, your ability to repay. Do you have a job? Do you have a credit history? As you're going to buy a house one day, all of this stuff, student loan lending violates, at least in my own experience in life, every other lending policy that I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
Whether it's borrowing money from a bank, from a business, from an individual, any type of loan that you're going to get. It's like, well, yeah, I want to buy this $5 million home. Cool. How much money do you bake? $100,000 a year. Get fucked. You're not going to get that. Well, how come? Because you don't have any ability to repay. All right. I want to go to school, but it's going to cost me 150 grand. Here you go. Here's your money.
Yeah. Here's 150 grand.
And, just make sure you make that minimum interest payment. So you're just holding it for decades into your life. If you declare bankruptcy, you can't get rid of it. And, oh, by the way, we don't, just get that hypothetical job. No need to show the ability to pay it back now. No, it's insane.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, actually. But that was definitely pushed in grade school and high school. And I actually did go to community college, which I was able to pay out of pocket because it's community college. And so I didn't have any debt from that. But yeah, I still don't really know what I want to do. And basically my mindset right now is make money to do the things I do want to do.
Is that shared with your generation, like your friend group?
A lot, yeah.
Do they see less? I mean, I look at my mom. She worked at, did a variety of things. She was doing work with land trusts towards the end of her life. But before that, working at Seagate, administrative type stuff, 9 to 5. Growing up there, it was super traditional. Even my dad's schedule. I mean, he did masonry construction, but, Monday through Friday. It seems like there is a different shift. People want to work remote. They want to kind of mold their hours around accomplishing the job, and that actually matters more than the time that they're putting into it.
Yeah.
It's a paradigm shift for sure. I don't know which one is better or worse. I was just curious because I get this type of question all the time. What should I do? I'm doing this right now. I don't like it very much, or it's not wildly fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
And I have this other opportunity, which I think might be amazing, even though I have no experience in it. What should I do? The reality is sometimes you just have to have a job, like the minimum, not everything is going to fill your cup. We just don't live in a world where everything is going to be wildly fulfilling. Not everything that I do fills my cup. Hate to tell you.
Yeah.
There's some things that I do that I don't enjoy very much, or at least in comparison to others. I mean, I love doing the podcast, but some days it seems a little bit more like a grind than others.
Yeah.
I love doing public speaking stuff. Some days it seems like a little bit more of a grind than others, especially with the travel or if it stacks up on top of that. Not everything is filling your cup. Some things are taking things out of your cup, but you still have to meet the basics for survival, food, shelter, water, all of those things, especially if you have a family. So when people say that, like, oh, this job is, it's paying the bills, but I don't really like it. I mean, it's kind of like, welcome to the show.
Yeah. And there's been, like, I've had this conversation with a lot of my friends where it's like, why would I work 9 to 5, no breaks, minimal vacation to save money for when I'm 60 and can't do anything?
Yeah.
Like, I would rather spend the money now and experience the things I want to experience now rather than wait until I'm, like, hopefully I'm not decrepit at 60, right?
You will be.
Probably.
Yeah.
But
maybe 50.
I know I'm not decrepit now.
Yeah.
So I want to do the things now.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's I there's this balance between, I mean, money is your ticket to buy your time back, essentially.
Yeah.
Or your freedom, depending on how you would want to describe it. Or what I should say, not your freedom as if you're like in a cage, but it buys you the ability to be free to do what you want to with your time. But it's hard to make. And so you look at it in an account and you think, I have to save this.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, I look at my dad, my mom, what would be the best way to put this? Was way better with money than my dad.
Yeah.
My dad, at many times in his life, has stored money in socks. And I'm not joking when I say that. He would, God, it would piss my mom off. He would go, like she would, she was the back end of the business. And, and so she did a lot of investing. And the money, a good portion of the money my dad has access to is from investments that my mom left behind to him and my sister and I. And she had set up a trust and all this stuff. But so he would go and quote jobs and give them like a discount if they paid cash and not tell my mom. And he's like, well, if it's cash, it's just my money. It's just, cash doesn't, it's like what Julia says. Oh, it's girl math, Dad. I paid in cash.
Oh, yeah.
And I always say, but no, I saved money. I paid in cash. I said, you spent money, but it was cash, so it doesn't count. And she goes, yeah, now you're getting it. Girl
Well,
math.
yeah, it doesn't subtract from your account. So
Yeah. So the money my dad has, let's just say the structure that he has is largely based on my mom. And I have these conversations with him. And it forces me to think about myself, my own financial situation. And I'm not wealthy by any stretch or definition of the term. Unless, well, I don't know. I'm at a point where I can say yes or no and do what I want to with my time. I can't stop working because I still need money, but a lot of the times I can say yes or no. And I look at my dad and I have these conversations with him. How much money do you want to die with? And it's easy for him to say, well, as much as possible so I can pass it down to you and your sister. And I've told him, I don't want your money. Like, thank you for that. Obviously, it's an incredible gesture. I appreciate that. I would rather have you die with $0 in your bank account and just the richest, like whatever time he has left, go. He is so funny. God, he'll step over dollars to pick up dimes sometimes. he's got plenty of money left behind.
Right. Yeah.
And my parking at the airport was $16 a day. I'm like, Dad, shut up.
Vaughn, I think you can cover that. I think you're good.
I don't want to eat out that $40 meal. Oh, I hope you're going to be
Yeah,
okay.
it's going to break the
Are you going to be
bank.
able to pay your electrical bill this month? Or travel. He talks about the travel that he wants to do. And I have to have these conversations with him. It's like, Dad, you have to do that now.
Yeah. Like you can just do it.
Not only do you have the monetary means to do it, but age is real for all of us. Your ability to move around is a little bit less. You're getting a little bit more tired. Stop talking about the travel you want to do and go do this travel. And oh, by the way, buy a fucking first class ticket.
Yeah.
Go to the
Might
lounge.
as well.
Go to the lounge.
Yeah.
Have some scotch on the rocks. Which, trust me, he does.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Yeah.
If you run into my dad at the airport, he'll likely be at the bar. Fuck. He's getting ready to go on a golf tournament. Here's good. Do you know what my dad calls his golf tournament that has existed with his friends for 4 decades?
What?
The foreskin. That's not made up.
That's so awesome.
If you don't hit the ball past the ladies' tee, you play the hole with your dick out. Which is actually a standard rule in golf, even in the pros.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
They
PGA
must not
rules.
televise that.
They're pros.
Of course.
No, I've never seen a pro not hit it
I
past
mean,
the
I
ladies'
haven't
tee.
either, but
If you had, you'd see the highlight on ESPN. Little
I
turtle
think
head
you
out
would,
there.
Yeah.
So he worked so hard. I mean, his hand, one of his hands, you can see it. I don't forget the tendon, but it's his ring finger. It's from holding block and brick.
Oh.
That's what it's like that for. He fell one time and smashed it open on one of his hands.
Yeah.
There is a surgery that he can get done. So he works so hard. It's a really, and that's why I was curious about your generation. I struggle with this one. How much is enough? And at what point do you say, I do have enough, and the experience that I would get from spending some of this is more valuable than looking at a number in your account? I am not saying to people, spend all your money so you can't pay your mortgage.
That's a bad idea.
Food, shelter, water, all that things. Meet the
Yeah.
survival stuff. But I don't want to die with a large number in an account and experiences that I wish that I would have had. And that
Right.
goes back to this.
Yeah.
And it's a way long way to get around to this question. But when I was younger, I got asked the question all the time, what do I want to do? And I could answer it and people are like, you're never going to be able to do that. And in my mind, I was like, you can go fuck yourself and you can go fuck yourself
Yeah.
and you can go fuck yourself. But now as I get out of the military, absolute hot mess of trying to figure things out. I still have bounced around. I'm still adding shit to the Rolodex, if you will, of things that I'm doing. And I've just stopped caring because I know what I've determined is I have to only work for myself. That's my
Yeah.
guiding principle. And I guess that's what goes back to, what do you think you want to do? And your friends, largely your friends.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like I said, I haven't found one thing. Well, jiu-jitsu. I mean, that's the one thing that I really, really am passionate about.
How come you're not very good at it?
Passion,
How can you be passionate about it,
doesn't quite
poorly
equate
perform?
to skill. Yeah.
In your case. It's
Yeah,
definitely so.
especially in my case.
I'm joking. You're actually quite good at jiu-jitsu. I can't. It pisses me off that you guys, many people have found it at your age, and I found it literally at 40.
Yeah.
You guys can fuck off.
Yeah, I found it at 19.
I mean, good on you, man.
But
Passionate, but I tell you what, in being around some gyms now, and obviously my wife is a coach at a gym. You're working for yourself. I think that's one you could really burn out on.
yeah, because you're not really doing jiu-jitsu.
Well, I think you could lose the passion for it and it could become a profession. And
Yeah.
then I think everybody suffers if it gets to that point because you're kind of mailing it in.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what I don't know, I've tossed that around in my head, but I'm not really sure. But again, like I'm just not sure at this point. And so
Sometimes it's better to keep your passions at a non-professional level.
yeah, yeah.
Because as soon as you start relying on something, if you take that passion, I'm not telling you not to do it, but in my own life, I've learned this lesson. There's the things that I really enjoy doing, I actually now guard against any way trying to turn them into a business because then it becomes a business and you start, it's as if there's a siphon from one to the other, from passion to stress to worry to concern to structure to all of those things.
Yeah.
So you could be just a hobby for you.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I actually think
Yeah.
that's great advice for everybody. Make sure you have a hobby
Oh yeah.
that is outside of your professional world and keep those two separate. I'm telling you, you'll enjoy it more.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So I mean, I think in general, I'd like to work for myself and make enough money to where, first of all, I can make my own schedule, take a vacation when I want to, be able to go where I want to. And that's pretty much the goal. And I'm still figuring out how to do that. So that's where I'm at. And I think that's shared with a lot of my friends is like much less it's more selfish, not in maybe a bad way, where it's like, what do I want to do and how can I
Is it
achieve
selfish
that?
or just more individual centered versus career centered?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know if selfish is, oftentimes that's only viewed as a
Negative.
a pejorative term. Yeah. And I think,
Sometimes you have to be selfish.
well, it's essential. Well, and again, but it depends on how you're using that word. I think because it so often has that negative connotation. Yeah. You need to take care of yourself too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
When are you going to start the You Poop We Scoop business?
I've got everything set up. And so now I think the first step is just go and start knocking on doors and being like, hey, this is what I'm doing.
You can practice with Javi
I could practice with Javi. Yeah.
to master your technique. Are you going to use your hands or a shovel?
Probably my hands.
That checks out.
I'll wash them.
Well, you put the hand inside of the bag.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm using a little rake and a little bucket.
Really? What about for the more liquid versions?
We'll figure it out. I'll have a shovel on hand.
For liquid?
Yeah.
Really? Have you ever tried to shovel? I want you to go put soup on the ground and try to shovel it. Let me know how that works.
I'm still figuring
a nice
it out.
lobster
Okay.
bisque, if you will. Go put that in the grass and tell me how much of that you can pick up with a shovel.
You know what? Maybe I will. Maybe you'll see how easy it is.
Javi hugged some real drywall yesterday on the soccer field.
Oh,
I always have the bags, and sometimes we're on a real journey with him. He's like some real good ones, and then some real just like that can be picked up with a shop vac. And he,
Nice.
he really just sprayed it everywhere. I'm like, we're going to have to leave that
That's
because
so awesome.
it wasn't. It was horrible. All right. So I'm going to answer this guy's question. This is the same. So Tyler's talking to me about this one. He's really trying to sell you peeping Toms, by the way. He wants to.
Oh, he wants me to have all of it?
Well, it ties in line with this question because he has built his business.
Yeah.
He's coming back for this summer, and then I think he's going to move to Bozeman full time because
Yeah.
they have a good line on an apartment. And just like this question, it's presented in a binary situation. Do I do janitorial or do I do the cop role?
Right.
I feel like there should always be at least something in between. And so Tyler was saying, hey, I want to build peeping Toms and I'm going to go. And he's already got a bunch of appointments and stuff on the books. He was talking about you were going to work with him. He gets real tightwad about the monetary split between you and him.
Yeah, he really does.
He thinks like 90-10 would him taking 90, you taking 10
would
be appropriate.
No. That's not happening.
Mind you, he would never accept those terms on the other
exactly.
side.
Yeah.
But I told him, like, first off, you've already built a business here. He doesn't think he wants to come back or will be able to come back next summer. So he's thinking about building one in Bozeman. He's like, oh, so I got to, have to sell it. And then I always tell him, like, your life is yours to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But think about an option in between those two things. Do you have to sell it? Or could you slowly build a business like this, which is cash flow positive for him and almost no overhead in every place that you land? And I asked him, he played, rugby at MSU. Like, how many of your friends do you think you could rally and teach to clean windows?
Oh, yeah.
And I keep telling him, if you're willing to accept less money and make it enticing for them, where they're making a good amount of money, and now you have these passive income streams all through that same umbrella, dude, you have no idea how big it could be that you could grow that
in the long run.
In the long run. And that's the same thing I would say to this person too. For this guy who's doing it all himself, my first piece of advice is immediately hire somebody and train them how to do your job. If you want to go down the policing route, even if you don't want to, immediately hire somebody and train them how to do your job. You have to at all times be teaching somebody how to do your job. Nobody is irreplaceable. I'm sorry to tell you that. And if you're a single point of failure, your business is totally screwed if something happens to you. If life hits you in the face and you have to do something. But this person, to answer this person's question or anybody thinking about doing this, it's life. You don't have to like do a complete U-turn and go drive in a different direction, leaving everything behind. There's 100% a possibility where this person could build the janitorial business and actually probably even grow it by hiring the right person, managing it, let that person manage other multiple teams underneath. And in the meantime, you're spending all your time when you're not working with that person getting ready to be a police officer.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you could end up being a cop and exploring that while having an awesome business on the side.
Still making you money.
Yes. And if the cop stuff doesn't work out, guess what? You're financially sound because you didn't shit can one to go do the other. Life is not binary like that. Find options. If these choices of, I have to do this or this. Why do you have to do only those two things? What are the other options in between? I'm sure there are examples of where that is the only two options that you have, but why? And if you're not in that position, explore the other ones. And I would also say at the age of 32 or 33, this person is, or at your age, dude, take chances, man.
Yeah.
Go down every avenue that you think would be interesting to you because you don't know where it's going to lead. And if you're smart economically and you already have this base like this guy does janitorially, and he can replace himself, still make money enough to have freedom, then you can go do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
So that's my advice. Instead of worrying about what was the actual question? Do you think I should double down on the janitorial business and tough it out for now to hopefully secure our financial future, or should I take the risk? Yes, to both. Double down on the janitorial business by investing in the business, by replacing yourself, and then go down the pipeline of being a cop. Let me know how it goes. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think that's good advice.
Yeah. All right. Your question. What do you got?
All right. Let's.
Rocket Man?
Yeah, we can do that one.
I don't care. It's your question. Today's episode is brought to you by Bubs Naturals. What is collagen, you may ask yourself? I certainly did. Collagen is the most abundant protein in the human body. Think of collagen as the glue protein holding our bodies together. Naturally, with age, we stop producing collagen. So by supplementing with collagen, you're helping your body keep up its production of this said collagen. This is essential for joint health, muscle recovery, hair, skin, nails, gut health, and more. Now, that might sound too good to be true. And if you listen to last Friday's episode, that was the first time I did a read for Bubs. And I specifically said, I have very little experience with this because I'd only just started taking the product. I am now, I think, 10 days in. And what have I found? A reduction in soreness, a reduction in swelling, and my joints are already starting to feel a little bit better. Could this be caused by something else? Perhaps. But what have I changed in my morning routine? Absolutely nothing. I'm using their collagen. In the morning, I fill up a glass of water with a little bit of salt, a little bit of creatine. I put the collagen right in. It's flavorless. Zip it up with a little frother actually that they provided as well and slam it down. That's the only change I've made, and my body is feeling different. I believe it's working. In the packet, which is what I'm using, but they also make a scooper, you're going to get 20 grams of protein, 7 essential amino acids, and 1 single ingredient. Bubs is the only brand that is 100% NSF for sports certified and Whole30 approved. In other words, it is incredibly high quality, and you don't have to worry about anything when it comes to testing. Bubs is the purest form of collagen. They sustainably source it from grass-fed and pasture-raised cows in southern Brazil. Keto and Paleo diet approved if that's what you're into. It's heat tolerant, and that means you can put it in anything you want to include a hot coffee to start your morning. Head over to the website, bubsnaturals.com. They're going to have the MCT creamer, they're going to have the collagen, and a variety of other cool things. Use the code ClearedHot for 20% off of your next purchase. That is bubsnaturals.com. You can type that in or go to the bottom of the show notes and click on the link. Code ClearedHot for 20% off. Back to the show.
I just saw this video, I think on like Instagram. Oh my God.
That just is, we'll never see that video again.
No, it's gone.
Whoa, what's desktop 2? Go back up to that. We have such a poor understanding. Okay, that's just where we're at. Find the video again.
Yeah, I'm looking. Oh, here it is.
We have such a poor understanding of the electronics that makes this show run.
It's just so janky.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so apparently
This is our, I can already tell this is over in
Dubai or
yeah,
wherever.
well, it's an Emirates aircraft.
Yeah.
And actually, really tough to tell where it's at since it says Dubai on the carbon fiber wing. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is Vince and Fred.
Aviation history was made when 2 experienced Jetman Dubai daredevils flew in formation with an Emirates Airbus A380 jumbo jet.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
2-wing jetpack flyers flew around the world's largest passenger aircraft.
Here we're looking at a human being that has a Kevlar wing strapped to their body with 4 engines and flying in close proximity to an aircraft that is absolutely enormous.
It took 3 months to plan and coordinate the incredible project. And every step of the way, stunning videos were captured for ex-Dubai and Emirates Airlines. What an over-the-top
It's impressive.
stunt.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think it's cool.
Would you do it?
Well,
I mean, let's ignore the fact that you don't have the requisite knowledge, skill, or ability. But
are we taking into consideration that you told me one of the guys died?
I was going to bring that up. I love the fact, like, I love that people are interested in doing stuff like this. I don't remember which one of the guys died. So originally, look up Jetman. I think it's who it was. It was a guy who was originally, I believe, sponsored by Breitling. He was the first guy. What'd you find?
Let's see. Yves Jetman Rossi.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the first. This may not be the first guy who ever has done this, but
Oh, okay.
whoa, you're just really. What are you doing?
Really
There you go.
sucking today.
Enhance.
Enhance.
Yeah. Just scroll down to the description. Kind of there about it. Yep. Okay. So this is the. This was in 2014. There may have been somebody doing this beforehand. This is the first time I remember seeing something like this. So I believe he was also an aviator, I think all the way up to like an airline pilot. And he made this carbon fiber wing, and they're little jet engines on the side.
Yeah.
I love the fact that human beings are so full send that they have an idea like this and they think, no one's done it because I haven't encountered this idea yet.
Yeah.
And now it's time because now I have it. there's a cost to this. So when I first saw this, he was, I think, going off of hot air balloons and helicopters. I think it's hard to get out of an aircraft just because of the size of the wing. I'm sure you could do it on a ramp aircraft, but it'd be a really high exit speed. Anyway, it evolved over time. And I don't know if people know this, but there's a lot of money in Dubai. So they have the ability to fund a lot of things that brands, entities, and other organizations don't have the ability to do so. There's another, if it's the two people, which I think it is, Vince and Fred.
Vincent Refit.
Yeah, he is the one who died, I believe.
Yes.
There's another amazing video of them base jumping in Switzerland. They're both Red Bull athletes, or were. They base jump in Switzerland and they fly into an aircraft in flight. So it's the same guys. I believe the name of their skydiving team was the Soul Flyers. I'm not incredibly familiar with it, so I'm sorry if I'm misspeaking here a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that that's it. Those two had jumped together for a long time. Their creativity and willingness to take risk, calculated risk, I would say, is unbelievable. So this is the same two guys. Yeah, go ahead, play it if you want to. They had to try this one a few times as well, too. Yeah. Yep, short.
That's crazy.
Yep, short. Yeah, I mean, they'll be okay, probably. This is, I believe, off the Eiger in Switzerland. So you can put it on pause. These guys were explorers in every sense of the word. So they did that. It was an amazing stunt where they base jumped and flew into an aircraft in Switzerland, I believe, and they were sponsored. I'm pretty sure, they were wearing Red Bull wingsuits for that one. And then I believe they were both skydiving out of Dubai. They both got into the jetpacks, and what started off as only being flown from aircraft, they started messing around with launching from the ground. So standing there, turning the jets on, and going from basically horizontal flight, and then going to vertical flight to horizontal flight. There's a lot of risk. I mean, they're on the front leading edge of what anybody's ever done, and I won't get into the details because I'm not intimately familiar with them. There was an issue at a low enough altitude with Vince's system that he was not able to recover. So he impacted, I believe, without a parachute out and was instantly killed.
Yeah.
So as much as I appreciate like the visuals with that thing flying along with the Emirates aircraft, I love that there are people out there who are willing to do that. I would 100% have done exactly the same thing. But you are, at least at that altitude, you have a little bit of time. You can work some stuff out. Even in regular aviation, fixed wing and rotary wing, the higher you are, the more time you're going to have. That's not always the solution to the problem because, if you're really high up in a helicopter and it starts on fire, you need to get to the ground as fast as possible, and you actually might burn to pieces before you get to the ground. But there's this zone low to the ground at low airspeed in both rotary and fixed where if something goes wrong, your options are pretty limited.
Kind of screwed.
And these guys, I mean, with that jetpack on, they have a parachute. Obviously, they don't land the jetpack. Yeah. Even though they were messing around with landing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're getting into that shaded area on the performance chart where if something goes wrong, it's probably going to bite you. And when it bites you, it's not going to be like a little nibble.
Yeah.
It's going to be all of it. And that's what ended up happening. So there's a cost to being that far out there.
Yeah.
Those, I did not know Vince, never met Vince. I would suspect that he was aware of that cost and it just was who he was.
Right, yeah.
But you extrapolate that timeline out long enough, it can get pretty wild.
Yeah. When was the last time you base jumped?
When was the last time I base jumped? Was that when I went out to Notch Peak? It's been a long time. I don't know if I'll ever base jump again. I still have all my gear. I might go down to the bridge and just link up with my buddy Miles, who taught me, and just huck it off the bridge a few times. Not that that's necessarily any safer. You're still 486 feet from where you spit to where you hit.
Yeah.
Skydiving is a different ball game, kind of, because again, altitude, time, 2 parachutes. It's been years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been years.
Yeah.
I got a lot out of base jumping that had nothing to do with base jumping, and I have found other things that provide me the same mental escape.
Yeah.
At a far, far lower risk.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
You want to go base jump? I can set this up. We need to do a video series of just Michael's adventures. This is right down to Twin Falls.
Michael
My buddy
risking
Miles,
his
he will
life.
hook you up.
Yeah, I don't know if I had the proper training, but I feel like it takes a couple years to get that.
No, his
Really?
first jump course is a week long.
Really?
Yeah, you jump
And
the first day.
You jump after that
You jump the first day.
by yourself.
Yeah, dude.
That's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, man, we'll get you set up. You'll go into the water.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have a parachute or not? Or just a suit?
Yes, Michael. You have a parachute.
Oh.
What suit are you talking about?
That's what base jumping is, right? With a wingsuit?
No, base jumping is just off a bridge, antenna, span, or
okay.
earth. The wingsuit base jumping is adding a wingsuit into the base jumping environment.
Okay.
Let's take it easy there.
Well, that's why I was so
Zorro.
confused.
All right.
I was like, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
clearly you're confused. I'm saying we get you down to the Perrine Bridge in Twin Falls. We have Miles put you through an unreasonably short first jump course. We'll do a PCA, which is a pilot chute assist. So we'll handle all the technical stuff. You just have to find it inside of you to let go of the railing and jump forward.
I'm afraid of heights, so that actually would
Me too.
probably be pretty difficult.
Trust me, I'll be sweet talking you on the edge too.
Perfect. Thank you.
The commentary is going to be all about, are you sure you have what it takes? Do you know enough to do this safely? Do you want to die today?
How long before I can pull the parachute?
We are taking care of that for you on the first one. Off the bridge, you have about 4.5 seconds. It's 486 feet from the top of the railing to the ground. PCA, pilot chute assist, meaning somebody's holding on to that. So as you jump, it will pull your parachute off your back for you.
Oh, that's nice.
You are just responsible for letting go
jumping.
and pushing.
Okay. I mean, physically, it's very easy to do that. The mental part is what's going to get me.
I'll coach you through it.
Great. Thank you.
A lot of positive reinforcement.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
We need to do a video series.
Michael risks his life for content.
We could call that episode. We have to get into the simulator and watch you just kill everybody on a 787.
Hey, that would be so fun. I cannot wait to do that.
We'll figure that out. What else do we need to add, though? I'll take you for a tandem. Yeah, we need to have you jump off the Perrine Bridge. What else would scare the fuck out of you? You've already flown in the helicopter. You were fine with that.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad.
No, it's not that bad.
It's pretty. It's like a airplane except cooler.
Okay. All right. Fixed
In
wing
my
guys
opinion.
might be a little pissed at you for that, but whatever. All right. Man, I think a video of you shaking like a dog shitting a razor blade. Here's the thing. Like the first jump, you're standing on, you climb over the rail and you have your heels there.
Yeah.
And you're just holding, facing outward.
Okay.
You still got to climb over the rail of a bridge. Let me just tell you what your body doesn't think is a great idea.
Climbing over that rail.
And so when you
yeah.
climb over first, your stomach is facing the road. You have to turn around.
Oh, after you get oh yeah, that would be tough because
They
at
do
one
have a
point
plan-
you're holding on by one hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have a plank out there, but I'm not giving you that.
Thanks.
No, you're full Betty. I never got the plank. It's yeah, it can be emotional.
Yeah. Well, also I think because it would be just me, right?
Yes.
How do I land and
We'll put you
steer?
into the water because you're not going to know how to do that very well.
Yeah. What if the parachute comes on top of me and I drown?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Well, there's a boat down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if I land in the boat?
You have steering toggles. I'll give you. It's pull left to go left, pull right to go right.
Okay, that's pretty easy.
It actually is.
What if I go too far and go in the?
It's your choice.
Okay, sounds good.
You live your life, sir.
Cool.
I'm not going to tell you how to party.
All right, cool.
Okay. Let's not tell your parents about this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're both going to listen to this.
Okay. We'll just tell them we're going somewhere else.
We're not doing that, actually.
All right. Yeah. There's a cost to being that awesome.
Yeah.
There really is. I don't know if it's avoidable. You get on the front leading edge and it can bite you.
Yeah. You're testing out. You're in literally brand new waters. And
Yeah, but I love that that human beings are the way that they are.
Yeah.
Just send it. And
Yeah.
just think, I'll just fly this jetpack next to an Emirates aircraft, one on each side.
Yeah. Go for it.
They said it took 3 months of planning.
I think so.
3 days. I could have handled that shit.
Easy.
Yeah. Here's a good one for you. Do you think using our special operations soldiers on the cartels and working around the border is a net positive? And do you think they will slow the amount of drugs coming across the border and the sex trafficking coming into this country? And will they be able to intervene and potentially save the victims, or would they have to send the information to others for others to pull the trigger? This one I'm curious about you and your friends. What do you guys think about the border? Do you even think about it? You self-centered pieces of
Kind
shit.
of.
Kind of sounds like a real hard no.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's just so much to think about that I choose not to engage in a lot of political stuff.
All right. You know anybody up here who has ever suffered from a drug addiction? Any of your friends in your social circle ever get or?
I don't think so. Not an addiction. I mean, I know people that do drugs, but not.
Yeah.
Like,
Up here we have gets a little rural. Gets a little methy. Fentanyl is a pretty big issue up here as well.
yeah.
So even though we live 60 miles from the Canadian border, the source cities for us are on the West Coast, but it starts in Mexico, works its way up California, I think probably Highway 5, and then starts coming east from those source cities. So we are in many ways impacted directly by this.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean,
you choose not to think about it.
Well, I mean, I have no sympathy for cartels or people that peddle stuff like that. Like,
do you think we should use special operations against the cartels?
I don't know. I think it's a similar situation to the war on terror, where we're not actually fighting a state.
We won. Terror doesn't exist.
All right, exactly. No.
Yeah.
But it's
terror has been erased from the dictionary.
it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. It's just the war now.
Yeah. But we're not fighting a state or a concrete enemy. So I think the boundaries are so loose. We can say, oh, yep, that's a cartel member. We're going to do that now. And then it's another 20-year engagement in a foreign country that at the end goal, there is no end goal. You can just move the goalpost and continue to change.
Would the 20-year engagement be worth it so in the other examples you gave, the GWAT, if you will, those were not countries that neighbored ours.
Yeah.
If you think about it, people really sleep on the fact that the geography that we were, by luck, you and I born in this country. I have no say in it whatsoever. The Pacific and Atlantic Ocean provide such an immense barrier of protection.
Yeah, we're very fortunate.
We are incredibly fortunate, right? Canada, it's all going to work itself out. Canadians, don't worry about it. No one's going to actually try to make you the 51st state, I think. Mexico, same thing. Mexico touches our southern border. Does it make it more viable to engage in something for 20 years because of the proximity?
Right. I mean, I think you could argue yes, especially because it is directly affecting a lot of American citizens. Yeah, I think if there was a way to do it where you knew you were targeting cartels and you knew you were targeting like supply, whatever you would target, and have a concrete end goal or a concrete like sustainable position.
Clearly, we're going to win the war on drugs.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's worked so well.
We're at the precipice of victory. We just need to spend a little bit more money.
Yeah, just give us some more money. We'll send half of that to Israel, and then.
Oh, you're gonna get some hate for that.
I
had an email the other day from somebody who said, "Hey, since your buddy Rogan is so pro Hamas, we've sent his address to Hamas so they can come visit him." These are the type of emails. I swear to God. I mean, I'm paraphrasing a little bit. But yeah, man, that is a contentious topic for sure. I tell you what, in the number of conversations I've had specifically on the Ironclad show, I do change agents with people who specialize in the cartels. It's a whole topic in and of itself on how they exist, how they interact, and how deeply intertwined they are with everyday life, government, social and economic systems inside of Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to directly answer this person's question, special operations are great at, there's the 3FEA, find, fix, finish, exploit, and analyze. They're really good. Find is generally done by other entities. Fix and finish, fixing in place, locating them, fixing them in location. Finishing is what people think it is. Exploit and analyze starts going back into other systems, but they're really good at the second and third F. But how do you do that when one of the cartel members is, a governor of
Right.
one of the, the areas down there, or the CEO of vastly legitimate businesses, but is actually laundering money? Is that a special operations issue? I would say that's probably more of a other state entity issue, whether it's the DOJ or freezing funds or stuff like that. When it comes to playing whack-a-mole, nobody's better than the U.S. Special Operations.
Yeah.
But there's only so many of those people that you can whack, and it's still not going. Will it degrade their tactical ability? Sure. My worry is that it would take the focus of the special operations community. And I'm not saying we shouldn't. I think it should be used with absolute and extreme caution. You don't want to have your eye taken off everywhere else in the world as well. I actually think that the border issue is way more complex than designating the cartels as a terrorist organization and being able to apply U.S. military firepower towards that, whether it's platforms from overhead, kinetic strikes, special operations, whatever it may be. There's still issues of supply and demand.
Yeah.
There are issues of the support networks inside of the United States, whether it's from straw man purchases of weapons, whether it's from businesses and entities that are laundering money. I mean, there is still so much we could do to clean up our act north of the border. I do think some people have said that the cartels, that they're incredibly violent and they're capable. It's like, cool story. I've seen the videos too. I'm here to tell you right now that it's not going to go their way. Would it be precise and clean? I'm not saying that there wouldn't be casualties on our side of the house as well, but the cartels are not prepared to take on the United States Special Operations conglomerate.
Yeah.
They're not prepared to do it.
Yeah.
They would want absolutely no fucking piece of that in an actual gunfight. But that is a tool in a tool belt, and I think we have to address all of those other things first. So could they potentially save the victims? I guess if they had enough intelligence. Would they be able to do so, or would they need to send the information to others to pull the trigger? I don't know. I don't know how that would work. It would really depend on how we want to treat our relationship with Mexico. Are we going to do unilateral operations deep inside of Mexico with U.S. Special Operations personnel? Are we going to share information with them? To say that their military has been infiltrated by cartels is an understatement.
Yeah.
So if you do share, I get it. I mean, this is the age-old question of a partner force, and do you do work unilaterally or do you go by, with, and through? Pros and cons to both. So special operations is a tool in a tool belt. Don't forget the other tools too. Sometimes you need a drill bit, not a hammer. So how long have we been at it?
58 minutes.
One more. Your turn.
All right, let's see.
What kind of heat you got for today? Probably none, but
Probably none. I don't know if maybe you've talked about this on the podcast, but about your little training exercise
oh God.
with
Just go ahead and turn it off. Yeah, I remember this day. Scroll down.
oh, look, there you are.
I know, I'm young as fuck. 12 million views 10 years ago. Okay. The conversation that was had with the coaches right before this, they pulled me aside as they shuttled their team in, and they literally said, please break these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Because water polo in the U.S. is largely ignored.
Yeah.
In Europe, it's a full-on professional sport.
Oh,
there are
really?
people who can make a shit ton of money. And
Okay.
a lot of these players, this was the U.S. Olympic team. They ended up getting a silver medal, which is also known as the first loser in the Olympics.
Of course.
Yes, you still get a medal for it, though. Medals, one for every player on the team.
Yeah.
Their coaches stressed that they were having a really hard time motivating and just kind of cracking through that facade of these guys being professional athletes.
Right.
Because they were representing the U.S., and again, nobody really pays attention to water polo. They asked me to fucking break them off. And I said, say less, Queen.
Okay.
Yeah. Say less. Also, I was called 20 minutes before this happened because I lived close to the base. That was the amount of heads up I had. You know who was here that day too? My dad.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He's
I think
on the
Vaughn's
fucking,
there.
because my
Yeah.
dad was visiting from Santa Cruz.
That's awesome.
I guess. So I fucking destroyed the USA water polo team because their coaches asked me to. I'm sure I violated every Buds protocol, but they're not Buds students.
Yeah.
And hopefully it helped, Hopefully it helped. I did not realize that this video was going to get the views that it did. I look like a fucking child in that fucking... I mean, I was in my early 30s.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah,
whatever.
I've watched the whole video. It's very interesting.
Yeah. You notice how they were suffering and I wasn't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also-
Bull horns.
Also, like on the bullhorn, you're like, nope, not good enough. In monotone voice.
Oh, never
Do it
change your
again.
voice. Yeah, never let them read you. It's always, good job. Worst I've ever seen. You met the standard. You're a disgusting piece of shit. Get out of my sight. Never change tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did any of them quit that day or stop?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yes. There was one who completely hyped out. I believe he got in the back of the ambulance. Yeah, they definitely tried to quit. I crushed them with simple things like head counts.
Yeah.
How many people do you have? Mm-hmm. Or I would tell them, go line up. I would talk to their leadership. They had never, it was the obstacle course, essentially. Hey, go line your team up in age order at this obstacle. Do you have any questions? They'd say, nope. They wouldn't say, where is that obstacle?
Yeah.
How do you,
Yeah.
nothing. And then they would just fucking fall apart. And you would watch the leaders, instead of disseminating information, just start barking orders, and so they would fail timelines, and I would just fucking crush them. Basic stuff of communication, leadership, being able to decentralize and push information out. It was a rough day for them. I was just pissed that I was there because I was enjoying time on. This was a weekend. I was like, it's my day
this
off.
was your day off.
Yes.
And they called you in to do this.
Yes. I was like, you got it. And then with the coaches literally saying, please, we need your help.
Yeah.
I'm like, just say less, queen.
You're like, great.
Yeah. Fucking begin. Lay in the surf.
Awesome.
Lay in the surf.
Weren't you a water polo player as well?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Not very good, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the explanation of that video. Got more views than I thought it would.
It's a great video. Everybody should go watch it.
I mean, it's not the best representation of who I am, but it's,
12 million. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, over 10 years, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I feel like your base jumping video could approximate that.
Yeah. I feel like we could do pretty good with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just because I'll be having you describe how you feel as you're hanging off. What are you thinking about?
I don't know if I'd be able to talk. I could be a
know.
little scared.
That's what makes the content.
Yeah.
Is you're just you look like the hillbilly hammer after he was choked out with the ninja choke.
Oh. I was like, what do you talk? Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
best meme ever. When you realize you should spend less time researching Hitler videos and spend more time in the gym. That dude pieced him up.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't really even a fight.
Yeah. And he actually, obviously he's a pro fighter, so he's going to take it all the way to the end. When he tapped, that guy did let go. At first I thought he held on to it for just a touch longer. He let go.
Yeah.
And I think his name is Bryce, right? The fighter?
Who, the hillbilly?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah. It's his job.
Yeah.
That ninja choke is pretty cool.
It was good. I liked it. Yeah.
Up underneath the neck.
Yeah.
And then just right
locking
over
it
the
in.
top.
Yeah.
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 And then I saw some videos where they're setting it up. Some people will set it up as they'll go under the head and they'll go all the way to the armpit as to not threaten the neck right away. And they'll kind of control them for a little bit.
Oh, and then
let the person
sneak it in.
respond. Let the hand slide from under the armpit. They sink it up under the chin and then come over the top.
I may have to implement that.
Yeah. I'm a leg player now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you Neymar'd me the last time.
I know. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I'm going to get to a point where the only thing I do is go-go platas, which I don't even know what that is.
Do you have the knee flexibility for that?
I don't know. I'm joking. Yeah. No, we were at the SPG camp, and I liked the entry. I was shown a different way to do it where you can maintain the top position. And it's, I'm passionate about jiu-jitsu too, but what I'm really enjoying is messing around with new stuff.
Yeah.
Just change one little thing for me. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just going to focus on that.
Yeah, just do that.
And
Yeah.
it's like that passion waterfall opens up again. And you're going to get smashed because you cannot for the life of you figure out the
Yeah.
timing or how to get it to work. And
But
then
once you get it.
and then you go to white belts and you can do all of it.
Yeah. For a second, I was trying to get the crucifix from cross sides.
Top?
Yeah. Like going over, wrapping my leg and then rolling
Yeah, just go to
through.
the super chill position. It's way worse.
Yeah, I know, but
Put
it
your
was
weight on
fun.
'em.
It was fun for a little bit.
Yeah. All right. What else you got?
This is just real quick.
Oh God. Fire away.
Have you seen this militia video of
No, but I want to.
just look
Virginia cake. Oh, fucking Meal Team 6.
That's pretty much the only thing that's funny about this video. But they get all serious, and it's that guy right there
Yeah.
just makes it the whole thing look like a joke. I mean, not that.
I mean, the biggest threat to that guy is type 2 diabetes. What are they? Look at that dude.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the shits he takes?
No, I don't want to imagine that.
What do we got going on here? What do they represent? I mean, what?
So I think this was all caused by
Virginia State Capitol to oppose. Scroll down. Virginia
So
KCOA's militia marches armed to VA State Capitol to oppose new gun control.
yeah.
Richmond to protest new gun control bills such as magazine limits and banning guns at bars. Banning guns at bars is not a bad idea.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good idea, in my opinion.
Okay. They carry guns into the gun-free zone surrounding the building. Police informed the militiamen that they were not allowed to carry firearms in the area in front of the Capitol. More officers did not allow them to pose for some photos. Explain that his group is no longer branding as Boogaloo because of the stigma.
Yeah, Boogaloo had like some white power stuff going on with it.
Anarchy Princess, a regular face on the opposing side of the right of center rallies in the D.C. area, came to Richmond with a welcome to the small penis rally sign. God, I love human beings. Yeah, scroll back up to the video. Hit play on that fucker.
What are you lobbying for if it's not obvious to the people watching here? Unconstitutional gun laws they want to pass in Virginia this year. What are they trying to do?
Guy's rolling heavy with some mags.
Yeah.
They want to make it illegal for you to carry a firearm on you in a restaurant that serves alcohol. Magazine bans, AR bans, and a couple other laws.
All right, I've seen enough.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like guns and alcohol are not a good mix.
So what he is saying is that they want to ban guns in establishments that serve alcohol. It's my understanding in Montana, you cannot carry a firearm into a bar.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
You can
the
carry
case.
them into a restaurant, but if you are consuming alcohol, your concealed carry privileges are no longer valid at that point. So it's the consumption of alcohol. And bars, although they do serve food, I think it's because of the type of their liquor license. Again, not an expert on this. What I can tell you is a lot of people don't make better decisions with the ingestion of alcohol.
Oh, no.
So, be careful what you wish and ask for on that front. Until next time, Michael.
Until next time.